Do you feel your heart tighten every time they say, I need space? You cling, you plead, you even blame yourself for being too needy, only to be met with silence, unanswered messages, and a growing sense of insecurity. You wonder, why does my effort to show love push them further away? Pause for a moment. You're not alone. Millions of couples are trapped in the push-pull cycle. One partner craving connection, the other fearing loss of freedom and retreating in response. Both are caught in a tangle of unspoken expectations, unhealed wounds, and unconscious defense mechanisms that only drive them apart. You've tried texting, endured the silence when they need space, and told yourself, I must control my emotions, be stronger. But the cost has been your self-worth and a relationship that goes nowhere. You have every right to feel exhausted, and you deserve to find a path to healing, so you're no longer stuck between love and fear. Over the next 25 minutes, we'll uncover the 10 unconscious mistakes anxious, avoidant couples often make, and reveal 5 powerful keys to transform the cycle of conflict into a journey towards secure attachment. You'll learn how to reconceptualize your relationship as teammates battling a shared problem instead of adversaries, how to interpret raw emotional signals, and how to build a healing space where both partners can say, I'm sorry, without fear. If you're ready to step out of the shadows of anxiety and avoidance, if you yearn for a relationship that is lasting, safe, and genuine, stay with us right now. In an anxious, avoidant relationship, we don't just witness sweet moments interwoven with tension. We're immersed in a chain of unconscious mistakes that keep partners caught in a self-perpetuating vicious cycle. First, picture a familiar scene. Alex feels frustrated every time Bella runs away when emotions overflow. Bella is hurt that Alex never seems to understand why she needs space. Instead of looking together in the same direction, they spin apart, becoming one side harshly accusing and the other silently resenting. This is group 1. Blame. Insensitivity, where mistake 1 targets the partner's behavior while forgetting the relationship context. Whenever Alex criticizes Bella, why do you keep avoiding me? He overlooks that her withdrawal is a built-in defense to protect her when overwhelmed. Whenever Bella accuses Alex, why don't you ever care? She ignores the hours he's spent listening and trying to help her regulate her feelings. Imperfectly, though. Next, mistake 2 lies in making no explicit agreements, expecting mind reading, and then blaming when things go wrong. They both harbor silent contracts about texting frequency, emotional closeness, or household roles only to burst into conflict unprepared. Quick illustrative clip. I need space text. Why didn't you tell me earlier? Moving to group 2. Forced solutions, emotional resistance. We find mistake 3. White-knuckling, clenching your fists unconsciously to endure in the name of not losing each other, yet never seeking the root cause. Alex endures Bella's cold shoulder each time she pushes him away, thinking, I must be patient, while his pent-up frustration later explodes uncontrollably. Then, mistake 4 distorts raw emotions into cold logic, severing the connection to bodily, raw data. When Alex feels his heart race with jealousy, instead of saying, I feel anxious when you go silent, he jumps to, you're being disrespectful. You're at fault, turning an internal experience into a logical problem that baffles Bella. Rhythm reset graphic, arrow linking heart and brain, entering group 3. Fantasy, excessive criticism. We confront mistake 5, expecting your partner to be perfectly secure, always calm, transparent, and confident like an ideal secure attachment figure, even though Alex and Bella chose each other precisely for those imperfections. He yearns for a partner perpetually gentle and open. She dreams of someone who never feels sad or angry. What began as mutual attraction thus morphs into impossible safety guarantees. Next, mistake 6 refuses room for change, reinscribing old power dynamics that stifle growth. Bella wants to open up more, but Alex's habit of always leading leaves her awkward. Alex aims for greater independence, but Bella recoils, complaining, why are you so distant? Short illustrative clip. Alex and Bella attempt a serious talk but fall into silence. In group 4, conflict off track. Endless fighting. Mistake 7 occurs when an issue escalates into a mountain of dispute, with each partner locked in defense and harsh words, forgetting the root cause. How can the cycle stop when every harsh word only fuels defensiveness? Bella exclaims. You never understand me, Alex retorts. You're always so vague. And they're trapped between anger and helplessness. Mistake 8 is failing to grasp projection when Alex projects traits of an ex onto Bella. You disappoint me just like she did. Bella reacts furiously. Who are you talking about? Without pausing to ask. Might there be a real signal buried beneath the muddle? Rhythm reset graphic. A signal core surrounded by muddle. Finally, Group 5. Withdrawal. Reverting to instincts reveals mistake 9. Not fostering apology and repair, yet keeping score or bringing cancel culture into their private space. One small apology becomes an opportunity to list every past wrong, as if passing an irrevocable sentence. Alex apologizes for being late. Bella immediately recalls every birthday he forgot. Rather than creating connection, they arm themselves for counterattack. And mistake 10 emerges when stress peaks. They retreat into anxious or avoidant shells. Alex's anxiety makes him shrink inward. Bella's avoidance deepens, and they unwittingly drive each other into a dead end. Quick, illustrative clip. The two turn away. Silence and distance mounting. From deep-seated unconscious habits to instinctive reactions that wound one another, these 10 mistakes build an invisible wall preventing anxious, avoidant couples from drawing near. The interspersed short clips and rhythm reset graphics not only illuminate each snag, but also prompt viewers to ask themselves, which mistake am I making? Once fully recognized, we can move on to solutions where each healing step becomes a key, opening the door to secure attachment. Having clearly identified the 10 unconscious mistakes that keep anxious, avoidant couples trapped in a cycle of conflict, we must delve into the psychological underpinnings that give rise to these errors. Only by understanding the why behind behaviors can we chart a genuine path to healing. This psychological analysis is divided into 2 subsections. 3.1, the hidden motivations of anxious, avoidant pairs, and 3.2, the unconscious mechanisms behind the 10 typical mistakes. Sanderny, the hidden motivations of anxious, avoidant pairs. Every relationship, from friendships to romantic partnerships, stems from 2 fundamental needs: the need for connection and the need for autonomy. In anxious, avoidant couples, these 2 needs become paradoxically conflicting. For an anxious individual, connection is not merely about being together. It is a craving for immediate security. They require clear signals, constant reassurance from their partner, a heartfelt, I love you, a I miss you text, a firm embrace. Without these cues, their trust wavers dramatically, triggering anxiety, jealousy, and a profound fear of abandonment. Conversely, an avoidant individual prioritizes independence and self-reliance. They fear overwhelming emotions will erode their stability. They fear that deep attachment will expose them to vulnerability. Thus, when the relationship demands too much emotional sharing, they instinctively withdraw to preserve their mental safe zone. When the anxious partner craves closeness, they push the avoidant partner to provide a dose of security, but this compulsion only heightens the avoidant's panic, pushing the anxious partner further away. And when the avoidant retreats, the anxious partner grows more fearful, more desperate, clinging tighter, creating an endless push-pull spiral. This cycle not only drains emotional energy, but also seeds most of the 10 mistakes we examined earlier, from blame devoid of context to vague expectations, from endurance through white-knuckling to distortion of raw emotions, and from projection to the absence of space for repair. In their seminal 1987 study on insecure attachment styles, Hazan and Shaver illustrated how these 2 needs clash, yielding a pattern of anxiety-driven pursuit paired with fear-driven withdrawal. A simple minigraph aptly labels this the push-pull spiral, with bidirectional arrows. As proximity increases, anxiety in the anxious partner increases, avoidance intensifies, anxiety in the anxious partner intensifies, proximity decreases, and the cycle continues. Sandir R. Why do the 10 mistakes emerge? From the underlying motivations, it becomes clear that the 10 identified mistakes are not random, but rather protective. Automatic coping mechanisms, unconscious autopilots, engaged when facing the deep-rooted conflict between the two opposing needs. Specifically, projection. This psychological phenomenon occurs when an individual transfers past emotions, pain, or memories onto the present partner. For example, Alex may still harbor hurt from a brutal breakup where he felt abandoned. When Bella simply needs some space, Alex instantly feels rejected, not because of Bella's actions, but because he is projecting old pain onto her. Projection turns remarks such as, "You never understand me," into searing blows, ringing forth echoes of past wounds. Gaslighting versus scorekeeping. In many conflicts, people become embroiled in a battle of who's right, who's wrong. A contest not aimed at understanding, but at winning. Gaslighting involves one partner undermining the other's emotional experience. You're remembering it wrong. You're being too sensitive. Scorekeeping, on the other hand, means keeping meticulous tabs on every infraction to unleash them later, thwarting any chance for genuine repair. Both behaviors stem from a desire for self-protection. If I can't win the argument, I can at least maintain control over the narrative and preserve my sense of safety. These unconscious mechanisms lie hidden beneath the storm of surface emotions. Often, neither partner realizes they are projecting or caught in scorekeeping. To illustrate, consider this brief story. The first time X and Y fought about work schedules, X exploded when Y prioritized a late-night conference call, accusing, "You don't respect me." Y burst into tears, retorting, "Your knife-sharpening words just like your mother used to do." Only then did X realize he was gaslighting Y, and Y was projecting her memories of X's mother onto the situation. Had they paused, sat down, and objectively examined the projection, the argument could have ended quickly and amicably. But lacking awareness of these unconscious processes, their anger only escalated, compounding the conflict. Therefore, recognizing and understanding projection, gaslighting, and scorekeeping are essential precursors to constructing healing solutions. Only when we expose the unconscious saboteur guiding our words and actions can we begin dismantling old chains and consciously choose new responses, laying the groundwork for secure attachment. After delving into the hidden motivations of anxious, avoidant pairs and uncovering unconscious mechanisms like projection, gaslighting, and scorekeeping that spawn 10 common mistakes, you might wonder, what do these concepts mean in real life? That's precisely when we need to shift our framing move from treating each other as adversaries in a you versus me battle to partnering up against a shared challenge in an us versus problem mindset. Only by positioning the relationship as we against the problem can we finally disrupt the conflict cycle rather than fueling the fire of tension. A new perspective. You and your partner, teammates against the problem. Imagine the two of you standing side by side. Your armor, not accusations, but inquiry. Instead of launching into, "Why did you do that?" begin with, "What is really happening inside you when the emotions flare?" When you both look at the problem, what in this relationship is triggering this anger? You each step back, breathe deeper, and observe the relationship as a whole rather than fixate on individual wounds. Revisiting mistake 1. Originally, Alex angrily blamed Bella for always disappearing when stress rose, and Bella responded with silence or even a slammed door. This exchange ended in, "I'm right, you're wrong," without anyone understanding why Bella's withdrawal triggered Alex's explosive anger. In the new perspective, Alex doesn't start with blame. He asks Bella, "What aspect of our relationship leaves me feeling so abandoned that I can't control my anger?" Bella doesn't stay silent. She shares, "I withdraw because I feel overwhelmed when you ask so many questions. I need time to ground myself before I can return to you." Instantly, the conversation shifts from finger-pointing to mutual exploration, and the two become allies on a journey of self-discovery and relational repair. In the us versus problem frame, no one holds all the judgments. Instead, both of you wield flashlights to illuminate the collective pit. You share your experiences, your partner listens with curiosity. Then together you examine, Which signals are being ignored? Which raw emotional data are we failing to honor? How have we inadvertently triggered each other? Clearly, insecure attachment is not a death sentence for happiness. Rather, it's a course in self-awareness, where every uncovered pattern grants you freedom from the chains of anxiety and avoidance. Embracing "we're learning together" bestows a powerful gift, the freedom to err, to experiment, and to repair mistakes without fear of judgment. Instead of fleeing discomfort, you step toward each other, granting space to reveal internal fractures and heal as a team, viewing insecure attachment as a journey of discovery. Every couple can transform challenges into opportunities. The chance to set clear agreements, practice raw emotional expression, master sincere apology, and repair, all under the guiding light of teamwork. Now, it's time to actualize this fresh perspective by answering the crucial question: how do we shift from you versus me to us versus problem and turn an anxious, avoidant relationship into the bedrock of secure connection? In the next section, we will explore 5 actionable keys, practical, step-by-step moves that any couple can apply to convert unconscious patterns into positive habits, edging ever closer to secure attachment each day. Now that you and your partner have learned to embrace vulnerability, shifting to an us versus problem mindset instead of you versus me, it's time to turn this fresh perspective into concrete practice. Each step below is a practical tool designed to dismantle unconscious conflict habits and build a foundation for lasting secure connection. Think of it as a roadmap you and your partner commit week by week, day by day, and the results will follow. Step 1. Clarify expectations. Establish clear agreements. Avoid silent contracts that breed resentment. Schedule a 15-minute weekly couples conference. In this distraction-free slot, no phones, no interruptions, take turns sharing. This week I need support with. The goal is to air every unspoken expectation, from texting frequency to personal time, then draft a concise agreement. When all desires are transparent, misunderstandings like "you never know what I want" simply vanish. Step 2. Honor raw emotional data. Stop twisting feelings into arguments. Adopt the "I feel," "I need" technique. Whenever one of you is hurt, start with "I feel" to name the raw emotional data. For example, "I feel anxious when you leave the room without a word." Follow with "I need." For example, "I need a quick text saying when you'll be back." Even if phrasing isn't perfect, this structure prompts both partners to acknowledge raw feelings and real needs before leaping to judgments or logic. Step 3. Address projection. Signal versus muddle. Projection can ignite emotional bombs. When you hear "you don't care about me," resist the urge to counterattack. Instead, become an investigator. Signal. Identify the core feeling. What did you feel was missing? Muddle. Analyze exaggerations or misattributions. Which words come from past wounds? Try this. "I hear you saying you felt unsupported. Can you share a specific moment I might have missed?" Separating signal from muddle prevents conflicts from escalating and guides you both back to the core issue. Step 4. Build a repair and apology culture. Forget perfunctory "I'm sorries." Create a jar of repair in your living room. Whenever someone causes hurt, they write on a small slip the offense, the feeling it sparked, the repair promise, and place it in the jar. When you're both ready, draw a slip, read it aloud, apologize sincerely, and follow through with a tangible act, a hug, a make-up phone call, or a simple "I promise to." Each drawn slip becomes a moment of connection, transforming defensive habits into healing ritual. Step 5. Co-regulate during stress. Stress can trap you in the endless push-pull. Establish a 30-second check-in routine. One partner places a hand on the other's heart. Both inhale for 4 counts, exhale for 6 counts, and ask, "Are you okay? What can I do to help us both calm down?" This 30 seconds isn't about solving everything. It's about pausing, recognizing feelings, and reconnecting before instinctive reactions take over. When you and your partner commit to practicing these 5 steps, your anxious avoidant relationship will gradually transform into a safe space where both of you can breathe, be seen, and be understood. Transparency around expectations fosters respect. Honoring raw emotional data creates room for authentic expression. Mastering signal versus muddle uncovers the heart of issues. A repair and apology culture nurtures trust. And the co-regulation habit binds 2 hearts, even in the storm. No step is too big or too quick. Each 15-minute couples conference, every "I feel," "I need" statement, and each slip drawn from the repair jar is a declaration of we against the problem, not against each other. If you stumble, remember that insecure attachment is not a death sentence, but an invitation to learn, communicate, and grow together. Start today. Choose 1 step. Schedule it, try it, and persevere. Every small action can break an old pattern and sow the seeds for lasting, secure connection. And above all, remember, you are not alone. Every couple is on the journey to learn how to love safely. Let's co-create the relationship you both deserve. 1 step, 1 conversation, 1 breath at a time.